What's up, dudes? B Junior back here in the movie cave. EnduranceProductions YouTube channel. A little winded, come in from walking, doing my workout, you know, that kind of thing. Trying to stay in shape even in the wintertime. But it doesn't mean I can stop the random review series. That's right, guys. Today is another segment of random review. Let me preface it by saying, as in the series so far, basically these are reviews of films from yesteryear that are just random in nature. I'm talking about plot points that lead nowhere, go nowhere. There might not even be a plot point, and or characters that just kind of buzz in and out of the film that don't really add anything to the overall experience, and or they're just random in nature by way of the things that happen in them. Today's selection will be the immortal Thanksgiving holiday slasher classic Home Sweet Home from 1980, I think it is. 1980 or 81, don't quote me on that, but yeah, Home Sweet Home. Not a good slasher, but it's got that charm to where I have to own it and I have to watch it at least once a year. Mainly because this film is full of randomness. And whenever I get in that new random mode, I like to call it, the new wave random mode, basically I want to reach for movies like this that are just filled with it. The movie starts off in true random format. The killer on the back there, Jake Steinfeld, by the way. Yeah, check him out, looking pretty gruesome. Yeah. He's basically laughing all the way. It's so comical. The guy's like leaning out the window, he goes, "Hey, you want a beer?" or something like that. He goes, "Hey!" And he just comes into the camera, and that's the way the movie starts. You can tell where it's going to go from there. This is your basic stalk and slash, people getting knocked off one by one, yes. And it's a very cheap rip-off of, say, Halloween and or Friday the 13th type of film. Probably more so Halloween, and the killer drives a station wagon like Michael Myers and stuff at the beginning of the movie and so forth. The gore effects are subpar in the film, but it's one of those good in that bad way favorites in the random review series. It deserves its spot in the random review. Let's get down to the storyline. This is, up until nowadays, the only kind of sanctioned Thanksgiving slasher. You know, you had all the different holidays that were covered back in the 80s, and this isn't going to be like a horror overview or anything, but the film itself is, it's one of these Don Edmonds productions that was directed by Nettie Pena, who I think directed Blood Diner. Don't get me wrong on that, but her productions have these little stories that you hear about at different conventions where people are talking about, oh, it's one of those Nettie Pena films where I didn't really notice it until this viewing, where I sat down to really study this film for the random review series, that is. I do not believe there's any actor credits at the beginning credits of the film. It just kind of goes through the basic music, producer, director, and the title of the film. It's probably because the actors didn't get paid, maybe, don't know. You can go on different message boards and you can find out about these productions like Blood Diner and Home Sweet Home, where they were just kind of fly-by-night, trying to get away with any kind of shenanigans, not to pay their actors or the crew. You know, fire the crew today, hire a new crew to get through the next week, and then, yeah, you can pay them less, so do that. Yeah, why not? Those kind of decisions were going on during the production of this film. So I've heard in the underground, if you will, of Home Sweet Home aficionados. Basically, the killer gets loose from a mental institution. They show him shooting up steroids underneath his tongue. Why? He doesn't do it again in the rest of the film. I can understand he's a big bodybuilder guy, but still, that's random in and of itself, because he's a mental patient in a mental ward. Do they give him like his own weight set so he can sit in there and just pump the hell out of things? I don't know. That's why it's random. There's so many random kills in the movie, and the family itself. There is a turkey on the table, but that's the only thing that resembles Thanksgiving in this film. When I think about Thanksgiving, I think about fall time, leaves on the ground. The whole family's getting together at a certain time, and everybody's just joyful occasion. Well, the very characters of this family that he stalks and slashes his way through are random as it comes, okay, guys? There's this eerie little scene with the little girl that's the little girl of the family. She's like raising a knife and she's stabbing the turkey to death, and then they find her under the table just gobbling up the turkey all by herself. Her name's Angel, by the way. Yeah. There's a mime guy in this film. He needs his own little segment or his own little review to himself, but you want to talk about an annoying character that comes in and out of the film. He does anything, just random magic tricks that come out of nowhere, and I'm like, why is this guy doing magic? It has nothing to do with the film. What is this film? What is going on here? It's supposed to be a slasher, but then it segues into these little parts where he zips in, plays the guitar with an amp backpack, and he's got like on mom/kiss makeup, and he's trying to play rock and roll music on his guitar. He says his little witticisms or whatever, and then he zips out of the film, and they chase him out of the room. And there's also a Mexican lady that's playing her own guitar in different segments who's not speaking English to my knowledge, to my recollection. I had a couple beers when I watched this one, so bear with me, guys. Yeah, she's random in and of herself, and there's these little romances that go on along that you would expect in a slasher, but they're not your typical romances. There's these scenes that are just, yeah, any night, day. It's hard to tell what time of day this is too, because it's so random in the storyline. Yeah. You see where it's going to go from there. I don't really need to explain it any further or go over analyzing this film. It's just the family in and of itself. They're not your typical family, and I think that's what they went for. They wanted some colorful characters. Well, you got them. Okay, they got them in this film. The maniac kind of stalks and slashes his way through. It's kind of a paint-by-numbers slasher beyond that point. But it's the characters. The Don Edmonds character, he plays a role in this film as kind of the patriarch of the family. But there's these couple of girls that spend their whole entire parts in the films trying to get to the dinner or whatever. But it's never really, to my knowledge, told when the dinner is supposed to be, if it's supposed to be in the morning, the afternoon, the evening. I started thinking that turkey's got to be getting pretty ripe, because they put the turkey on the table earlier in the film, and it's not until the girl like stabs the turkey and does all that stuff with it, like eating it underneath the table. The food's got to be getting pretty ripe or drawing flies by that point. So it's just not. It's not a well. The acting, okay. The acting in the film says randomness. I mean, you've got this hillbilly redneck guy who's always harping on this guy, talking crap, and then the mom guy will come in and say, "Hey, we got rid of the hillbilly redneck," or there's all this weird little lingo that goes on in the film that just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add to the plot point, which this one does have a plot point. It is a stalk and slash movie, but it's just got all this randomness going on in it. And I'm talking about randomness in probably on par or right subpar below Pieces. Pieces is done better with more flair. This one's just random in nature. You got to add it to the random list, or your bad in that good way holiday slashers. That's been your overview of the immortal Home Sweet Home. This is a media DVD from the VHS Preservation Society. Yeah, it's a convention DVD. I don't know if it's got a sanctioned Blu-ray or DVD slotted for this year or anytime soon, but yeah, if you want it, there's crusty old VHSs out there. I'm sure you can find this on the net, or uploaded on YouTube. Rock on, dudes. Hope you guys enjoyed the random reviews. Bye.